Welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So today I am back with a one-page layout for the Rosie Studio Creative Club. I am using the Sweet Sunshine collection again. I did all 3 of my projects for the month before I got my second shipment of products in. So that's why they are all this Sweet Sunshine collection. I am going to be using a bunch of pattern papers here. I wanted a matte around my layout, and so I picked this pink plaid paper. So that's going to be my first pattern paper. My main background page, I guess, is going to be this white cardstock, and I kind of had a different layout envisioned for this when I first started. However, it completely kind of changed from what I had sketched out. And I'm okay with that. I like the way that even though there's one photo, it is the focal point with so many different pattern papers. It just kind of goes to show that if you can combine all of these pattern papers and still, I don't know, have your photo as the focal point. So I am kind of playing around with all of these different scraps here. I love this striped paper. I think it is just beautiful. And I decide to actually use that entire piece of the striped paper. You can kind of see, or maybe I trim it down, but regardless, I use a giant piece of the striped paper and then bring in kind of that yellow polka dotted paper as kind of a larger matte, I guess, for my photo, so to speak. So going to at least commit to my background page before I kind of continue. So you see 3 of the 4 pattern papers here, the plaid paper, the striped paper, and then the polka dotted paper. What I think is important when mixing pattern papers is kind of mixing, the colors, the patterns, and then the size of the patterns, I think, too. You see how bold that yellow is. That is not lost on that striped paper. Even though that striped paper is super busy in itself, it's not lost. It's bold enough that it can sit right on top of that and be fine. So the 4th pattern paper I am using is this sunshine paper. I decided to dovetail each end of it. And I went a little too deep into the dovetail here. I took a little too much off. I should have measured the length better because I wanted, I guess, the dovetail to completely cover up the yellow polka dotted paper, and it doesn't. It's a little bit too short. So I do come up with a solution, but I was bummed when I cut it. I just not bummed enough to recut it and waste it. So you can kind of see just a touch of that yellow polka dot paper peeking through the end of the sunshine paper. So to make my photo stand out even more and bring in some of that pink from kind of the outside of the layout, I am matting my photo again in pink. So that just kind of brings your eye to the photo as well. And kind of helps it stand out a little bit more. So because the rest of the layout is very busy, I keep my embellishing very simple. You can see I'm kind of playing around with these journaling cards. I just don't like how it covers up so much of the dovetail on the right hand side. I was hoping to, cover up that polka dotted paper that's peeking through, and was hoping that was the solution, but I just thought they were too large. So instead I continued to kind of look at different options, titles, and different things. I do find on this alpha these chipboard pieces that are scalloped, and I thought, you know what, that would be perfect to kind of cover up the mishap, I guess I'll call it, and then just kind of add something to it. So what I ended up doing is adding this chipboard scallop, but then also adding kind of a heart border sticker to the top of it. I think I needed that scallop a little bit wider to cover up the mishap, so adding those hearts on top of it allowed me to cover that up. So I don't know, just a different way, not anything I had originally thought to do, but it just ended up working out that way. And I'm glad that I was able to use up some of the other products. So far I've got paper, the chipboard, not the chipboard, well, yes, the chipboard, but then the cardstock stickers as well. So now that I have this done, I think I'm going to pop up the photo on foam tape, if I remember correctly, only because, you know, it's kind of sat on chipboard, and so for it to be even, I need it to be set up on some foam tape here. So once that is done, I just get this foam tape from the Dollar Tree. I actually have gotten kind of the small foam squares as well from the Dollar Tree, and they work just fine. Now that it's $1.25, however, I was just recently at Hobby Lobby and got a larger roll of foam tape for $1.49. So I'm not sure which one's the better deal or which one I will like better. The one from Dollar Tree comes in 3 different rolls and they're different widths. So I guess that part of the Dollar Tree foam tape is a bonus, because obviously the other just comes in one size because it's a larger roll. Now back to the layout. I did decide to use that sunshine and smiles for my title. I just liked how kind of small it was, and how I could layer kind of underneath. So I used a sticker to kind of a ticket sticker there to add underneath that, just to, again, to add to it. This chipboard has a hashtag. I don't usually use them, but I thought this would be kind of a cute way to end up using that hashtag. So really my title is hashtag sunshine and smiles. And I really like how that kind of came together. I did add a heart to that cluster at the top as well. And then down in the bottom right is going to be my other embellishment cluster, starting it off with another ticket. And then just kind of trying to figure out what I want to use. When I kind of think of embellishment clusters, I like to include different sizes. So it maybe kind of have a good base. So that ticket would be my base. I've got the circular kind of medium sized piece there, and then adding some, are they butterflies? So those are my smaller items in my clusters. I do like to kind of keep like icons in them, if that makes sense. So hearts, you can see that once I added the one butterfly to the bottom cluster, I wanted to add one to the top as well. So that's kind of what I mean. I like to keep things similar on each of my clusters if possible, at least the small additions to that, whether it's hearts, enamel dots, stars, that sort of thing. So that really, I think, is going to pretty much finish off this layout. I will have my discount code down below. I know a couple of you have had problems. It sounds like it doesn't work on the clearance items. And I will warn you, shipping is a little bit more expensive because it is international shipping, but definitely check out what they have. I think they have great products. And yeah, right now they've got quite a few items on clearance. So use my code though, try to use it at least. I will link it down below for you guys. But I hope you enjoyed this layout and we will see you next time. Bye guys.